Hey guys, Tone here, and today I have a quick announcement for the channel. I'm going to keep this short and sweet because otherwise I know I could definitely talk about this stuff for hours. So the two things are that one, I now have a Patreon, which will be the best place for people to support me, this channel, and everything else I do going forward. You can read more about that at patreon.com/tonehack. And two, I'm transitioning away from doing mostly live streaming on Twitch to also doing more videos on YouTube, where the live streams will become a little shorter and less frequent. So some of you may already know about this stuff because they have been in the works for a while here, but I felt that an announcement was going to be needed here to make it official and to also give you a place to ask questions or discuss if you felt the need to. So on that first point on the Patreon, this has always felt like a natural part of the progression of my channel and my other roguelike related projects that was going to be coming sooner or later. A lot of people ask what the best way to support me and my work here is, and that's exactly what this is going to be going forward. So I create a lot of different things in a lot of different places, from videos on YouTube, live streams on Twitch, articles and guides on my website, podcasts on whatever podcast platforms you use, and also probably a few other things I'm forgetting. So one of the big goals here is to have a single place to support any or all of these efforts. So I think that's very convenient. So for anyone who doesn't know what Patreon is, it's a pretty popular site where people can go to make subscriptions or donations to content creators. I was going to try and keep this all in-house like I like to do and try to implement something on my site for this purpose. But after reviewing all of my options, Patreon seemed to make the most sense. They have a great infrastructure set up for it already. It's a familiar name. Like a lot of people who use YouTube and these other sites like know what it is. So they actually like know exactly what it is and what they're getting into. And they take relatively small fees, especially compared to a site like Twitch. So if you do choose to make a subscription or donation, you know more of that is actually going to me and not to Amazon or whoever else. There are a few things I don't like about Patreon, but I'm confident that it's the best option here for now. Also, as a quick sidebar on that note, I currently don't make any money from YouTube, my website, my podcast, and I'd like to keep it that way because that means I can keep all these things ad-free. YouTube does include ads on videos whenever it thinks I've violated some kind of music copyright. A lot of these are false. Some of them are legit from when I used to play more music. But those are the only times you should see ads on YouTube, and those should be minimal, especially on my newer videos, because I stick to royalty-free stuff and like just in-game music and stuff that shouldn't get flagged for that. And also, none of that revenue does go to me. I get some money from Twitch subscriptions, but I've been increasingly dissatisfied with how they choose to operate their site. I've considered removing the option to subscribe on there, which I think does reduce the ads on the platform that would be shown during my streams. But a lot of people like the emotes and the other perks that come with like subscribing there, which are only available through that. So I'm going to be keeping it for that reason. Anyways, back to the Patreon. So it's expected for Patreon subscribers to get some kind of perks for their subscriptions. And if you do choose to subscribe, then I want you to feel like you're getting appropriate value in return, which can mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people. But there are two core philosophies that I want to follow with the Patreon. And those would be one, that I don't want to put a paywall between you guys and the content that I create. So to reconcile that with also providing perks to the people who subscribe, all the Patreon stuff is going to be extra. I'm going to be doing like small updates and stuff I'm working on, sharing some unreleased content that I don't feel is otherwise fit for publishing to my main channels. I'll be allowing subscribers to vote on what kinds of like content and videos I'm going to be creating next, maybe early looks at upcoming content, that sort of thing. And this is a work in progress, so as we see what makes sense to do and what people want, we'll be figuring that out and providing those things. What I do not want is to remove any of the already freely available content that you're used to getting in my main feeds. That is not the intent here. So if you choose to ignore the Patreon, then you shouldn't notice any changes to anything. It should just be the same great content that you're used to. And two, I don't want the Patreon and these extra perks to become a big time sink that causes my main channels to get less activity or lesser quality content. That's a trap I've seen on sites like Kickstarter, which a lot of creators use, and they offer all of these rewards, and it ends up being a big distraction to the main project, and I'm looking to avoid that here. So those are the two main philosophies I'd like to follow here. So in short, if you ignore the Patreon, then you should not notice any differences to the channel or other content that you're used to. If you do choose to subscribe, then what's currently available that you'll see are 3 posts where you can vote on future content I'll be working on, It's all stuff that I'd like to do at some point, but that's a huge list, and it could be quite some time before I get to certain things. We're talking years in some cases because the list is also ever growing. So these votes will dictate where I prioritize my time and which videos or projects will get done first. I also have some unreleased content that I'm going to be throwing up on there. Stuff that I might not even have commentary on, but they're videos that some people might enjoy. So just bonus stuff, behind the scenes stuff, that sort of thing. So again, that's all on patreon.com/tonehack. And there's a more detailed post on there where you can read and learn about everything. And please do not hesitate to ask any questions you may have. If there are enough questions, I might even do like a follow-up Q&A kind of thing. So we'll just see how this goes. And I do apologize in advance because I'll probably be plugging it a little bit harder than I normally like to plug things over the next few weeks, just so people are made aware of it. So the second half of this announcement is that I'll be focusing a little less on Twitch live streaming and a little more on YouTube content. I've been really consistent on Twitch over the past few years with very long streams every Saturday at about the same time. And as a result, a lot of my YouTube content has just been replays of stuff I've streamed on Twitch. So I'm going to be doing more direct YouTube content for a few reasons. One, my YouTube and Twitch content tend to have different vibes. My YouTube stuff a lot of times is like more educational or more like commentary, descriptive. My live streams are more of like a casual kind of hangout a lot of the time, where there's an active discourse between the people in the chat and me, and we might go on like big tangents and pause about things. So just different vibes, and I want to keep both of those. But right now, the YouTube part has been lacking, or at least over the past year. Again, over the past month or two, I've been already transitioning to this. So you've been seeing a lot of what the new YouTube's going to be looking like. Two, a lot of the games that I showcase on my channels are pretty niche, and YouTube content works a lot better for if people are like going to search for a game, see that there's an older video and want to watch it. The videos just age better. It's harder to find stuff on Twitch just because of that banter and like stuff. Like a lot of things don't age as well. I think YouTube is just a better format for that in general, even considering that you can archive things from Twitch. So I think that's a pretty big one because it's hard to like consistently stream things on Twitch that people want to see actively. There's so many games out there I'm trying to get to that I can't just like stream them all the time on Twitch. So I think YouTube helps with that because those videos are there forever and they're pretty timeless compared to a Twitch stream. Three, I've been dealing with some health issues that make the flexibility and lengths of YouTube recording a lot more feasible than the long, like fixed time Twitch streams are. As a side note, that's also why there haven't been any Ascension Run podcast episodes in a while. So I'm just kind of working through this, and this is a more sustainable schedule and workflow for me right now. So as a net result of all of this, I'll be doing more direct to YouTube content, and it'll be more consistent, but my Twitch live streams will likely be a little shorter, a little less frequent. And again, you've probably noticed this over the past month or so. I've already been transitioning to this schedule and workflow. All right, well, I think I've covered all the big points here, and I really do want to try and keep this short, so I will stop here for now. So thanks to all of you guys for all the support over the years. I think these are some really positive changes, and I'm looking forward to sharing more great content with you all for years to come. Thanks again. I'll see you all next time for the same great content that you're used to here.